Hola, howdy, hello. So, greetings, folks. This is Saranya Narayana Moorthy, and welcome to the Mind Business. In this episode of podcast, I'm going to tell you about the one thing that will help you make decisions in the most effortless way possible. Okay, let's say whenever you're taking a big decision, you go through a lot of analysis, right? You see whether this is right, that is right, how would things go, so on and so forth. But do you know how the decision is actually made? Many times it's often a split second decision. On the other hand, you already know this is what you want, you already know this is what you're going to choose, you're just on the spree of collecting evidence to support that. Now, how does it work that way, or why do we actually do this? But if you actually notice it, as human beings, we have two layers of our mind that make these decisions, right? Maybe the conscious and the subconscious. But I would like to put it more as the lizard brain, which is more on the comfort side, wherein which chooses the one that's most familiar, the zone where, let's say, your safety is never compromised and you will never need to step out of your comfort zone. And the second is the actual part of the brain that supports growth. The one that says, you know what, there is a lot of discomfort here, but still, this is something that will help you. Now, whenever you say, I'm going to do something, and then because of so and so reasons or whatever things, you say, you know what, this looks like a difficult option right now. So I'm going to choose the most easiest one. That is where your lizard brain actually overpowers your growth mindset. On a regular human life, almost 80% of our decisions is actually taken by the lizard brain. Now, let me show you, or let me tell you, how exactly this matters when it comes to taking the bigger decisions. So, how do you think the decision is taken? Because often, when faced with a difficult question, we answer an easier one first without realizing the substitution. Okay, let me tell you how this works. Let's say you're asking, should I buy the stocks of this company? Now, how do you make that decision? Generally, an analyst will go through a lot of reasoning, would go through a lot of history, forecast, the existing market, so on and so forth. But let's say you're not a financial analyst and you do not know how to actually measure or how to take those decisions. In that case, if you still wanted to invest, how do you think you would make the decision? Well, the question that you would ask is, do I like this company? Do I think this company would grow? And the answers to this would ideally be assumptions or the things that you are saying just because you heard someone say something. Now, is this an ideal way to buy a stock or invest in shares? Well, not really. But for the sake of example, I believe you get the point. A difficult question of should I buy these stocks is often substituted by an easier answer of do I like this company? Now imagine how many such decisions would be going on to your life. Should I do this business? Well, I think I like making the product. Well, for the starters, it might actually look like, yes, it is a good way to choose it. But if you're not really a business person, you would end up just making things but not selling them. Whereas the most essential point of a business is actually selling it. So, in this way, ask yourself how many such questions are you asking every single day, because many times we do not know when this substitution happens, but many times our growth mindset is often overpowered by a lizard brain, and many times then we often realize we treat problems in isolation. Now, let me tell you how this is. Now you might ask the second question. Okay, so Saranya, even in this case, if I'm making decisions that way, how do I change it? So that is exactly where you are going to ask yourself how you choose the answer. Instead of repeatedly putting a why to it, you're going to reframe the effects where the decisions are shaped by the inconsequential features of the choice problems. Now, let me put it in very simple terms of how that is. Whenever an event happens, or whenever you're about to do or about to say something, there are two types of cells that are involved. One is where you actually go through the thing, where you actually experience it, and the other one is when you remember it. Sometimes we go through something and the experience might be, let's say that might have an impact of 40-50% on your, but when we are remembering it, we remember as if it held an 80% control over what you are feeling at that time. Is it like an overemphasis? Well, maybe, but actually this also comes from a Buddhist saying wherein they say, no matter how painful the first arrow is, the second arrow is always more painful. Now, why is it? Because in the second arrow, that is exactly when you kill yourself with. Or, in other words, when you're actually experiencing something, you are just a second person who is reacting to what the situation is. But when you're remembering it, you are putting yourself through that situation, which means the impact is much more higher. Now ask yourself, how does this play a role in decision making? Are you actually overanalyzing the situation? Are you overthinking through it and imagining so many different possibilities of how this could turn out into? Well, relax. Because when it actually happens, the reality might be far more simpler than what you have imagined in your mind. Because many times, the experiencing self experiences much lesser than what your remembering self put you through. So, the next time when you make decision, ask yourself this one question: why am I choosing what you're choosing? And on the same time, am I doing it because I want to do it, or am I doing it because I think, you know what, maybe these are just my only options? Well, the answer might surprise you, but the one thing that should never surprise you is every time you think there are only so and so options, there are much more than that. And the power lies just within you to control what your options are and give yourself more options. So, if you're ready to build yourself and if you're ready to actually own your power, well, let's get started. Take control, and I'll see you soon on the next episode of the Mind Biscuit Podcast. Well, this is completely an unscripted podcast, and that is exactly why I'm telling you, keep your minds open and start creating. The more you create, the more you're going to put yourself out into the world, and the more you do that, you're going to shine brighter and brighter and unravel a self of yourself which, well, you might have not even thought would have existed. So yeah, with this, I'll see you on the next episode of the Mind Business Podcast. Signing off for now, Saranya Narayana Moorthy.